Tech Talk Taco Tuesday number 100 and how many is Matt?
93.
193. This is the show where we talk about motorcycle and motorcycle related products. My name is Jimmy Lewis. We're coming to you live from my motorhome in the middle of nowhere, because that's how we do this. So checking to see if we are live, because I don't know. Are we live?
It's showing, let me switch it over to yours really quick here. It's flashing red over here, which is showing it doesn't really like what I'm doing.
And you can't even get onto mine. So this isn't working, so we're not live.
So I don't think we're live right now.
I didn't see it pop up. Usually I get a notification.
Yeah. What's,
So we can start it over again?
let me see here.
Okay, and hopefully we're back. Does that start a whole new show?
It might not.
don't know.
It might just go for a black screen for like a minute.
Back to
Sometimes
the same feed?
Sometimes. Well, see, since I actually clicked stopped recording and stopped streaming, it might not. It might start a new show.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes. But we are live now. We're back, and now OBS is much more happy with us.
Okay, yeah, because I have a better phone.
Yeah.
You
actually do.
Welcome to show 193.
Three.
Show where we talk about motorcycle and motorcycle related products. We're here to answer any questions you can come up during the show. So if you're listening to this later, we stream live on Tuesday nights at approximately 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on our YouTube channel, which is Dirt Bike Test, on our Facebook channel, which is Dirt Bike Test, and you can always find reruns and those kind of things on both of those platforms, as well as wherever you're listening to this now. My name is Jimmy Lewis. I'm a washed up ex-motorcycle racer. Now I teach motorcycle riding schools, like, a lot of motorcycle racers. We're heading up to Plain, Washington for the Tour Tech Rally. Pulled over, we're at a truck stop, and the reason that Matt can't get this working is he's been running around looking for lot lizards at the truck stop.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I found a few actually. I got to sell them to a homeless guy. Made a quick little penny.
No, Matt, that's not lot lizards.
It's reconnected.
There we go. So Logan didn't exactly know what was what, so I guess we had a resubmission, but the guy who won it was nice enough to say, hey, I've won twice, I'm not supposed to win twice, give it to the second place guy. So when I see the photos again, I'll remember which one was second place. I know it was really close between two of them, and we will inform that person, right? Yeah. Matt, we can do this. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll inform who got that. Good to see everybody in the chat. We have a lot of our locals up there. Brenda, Dave Donnelly. Dave got rid of that Husaberg that he couldn't start.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No dings for Dave. Yeah. I was thinking about buying it, but I just didn't need a third one. A third old version.
Left-handed kickstart?
Left-handed kickstart, and I think his had an electric starter on, if I remember correctly, but it wasn't working, and then I saw a picture someplace where it looked like he had sold it. So we will do our best to answer your motorcycle product related questions. I was going through my phone because there was a post that I saw this week on the EXC and FE performance group that asked. It was a good question that needed some explanation, but it was like, why would you ask this question to this group? It was kind of like it'd be like Matt saying I'm thinking about dating women, can you pick one for me?
Right.
Yeah. That it would be just like that. So anyways, and that's if you've never dated before, anything at all.
Right.
Yeah, just I'm thinking about this. Don't know how that person got to the group, don't know how the person figured out how to ask the question, but I was kind of blown away. But I was gonna break down, like, okay, first of all, the bigger question, the global question is, why are you asking this to a group of people that you don't know?
Mm-hmm.
And why do you trust this group of people so much?
Right. Were they getting like just eviscerated in the comments?
I don't bother reading I saw a couple of them, and I just, at that point, I just stopped, because I'm like, you just threw gasoline on a fire
Uh-huh.
that was already raging, and made it way worse. So I don't understand this kind of blind trust in the internet in general, or in forum groups or Facebook groups, or whether you're asking,
Yeah.
like on Twitter, or you're gonna put a photo of like the one it's like photo for attention,
Uh-huh.
which means it's not a photo of your thing. You just, like, it's something that something that you're into. So anyways, it was like, yeah, I'm brand new to KTM's, and I want this one. What does everybody think? And it was like, okay. So anyways, okay, we got off Rooster Endo. So back to the sponsors. Show's brought to you by Yamaha. So that person should have. They'll never watch this show, because it would be too smart. That person should have just bought a Yamaha, Blue Crew, a YZ. Just get a Yamaha, and that'd be the answer. And I'll tell you I'll tell you why you should just have blind faith in some of the stuff that we say, or this show. But this show would not be possible without your sponsors. And the reason that, for instance, Yamaha doesn't really ask us to do reads or anything specific.
Uh-huh.
They have some ads up on the website on dirtbiketest.com. That's www.dirtbiketest.com. You go there, you'll notice you'll see some of their ads floating on the slider, or maybe onto the banner. But other than that, and you go, well, how is that helping them? And it's not like, I've had discussions with some manufacturers and companies that want to see all these metrics and numbers, and they want you to put things on your website that they can track, collect information. They want your email list. They want a lot of stuff. And Yamaha's like, no, just here's some sponsorship money. Go and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're good for the sport. You get people motivated to buy motorcycles. You explain problems with motorcycles. You help people. This is something we like. And the good thing is, and this is with all of our sponsors across the board, they make good products. So when a company makes good products and they're doing well and they're making money, and then they find partners that they want to partner with,
mm-hmm.
and we get to be one of those, and they support a lot of other stuff that I'm involved. They're going to be at the TourTech rally. Like Yamaha will have a presence with a demo rides thing, and so it's like, yeah, these companies are in business to make money. Like I keep telling you, we're supposed to be in business to make money, but we just keep doing it because it's what we love.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyways, thanks to Yamaha. Okay, so back to the blind faith question. Like, what do I want to, And this guy was obviously interested in a KTM, I think, because the picture of the bike was orange, right? And then it was like, well, I've heard this, and I saw this, and it's like, what should I get? It's like, okay, are you trying to win a popularity contest? Do you want to get the bike that's the most popular? Because that's kind of what you're going to get. You're going to see what people think is the most popular, and someone's going to direct you in that direction.
Right.
You're not going to necessarily get the best bike for you, because the part about you, well, I'm sitting here thinking back to it. I don't even think this guy could describe his ability level correctly, or what he was actually going to do with the bike, because any brand makes different kinds of bikes. So with KTM, you have EXC, you have XC FW, you have XC, you have SX. and then there's adventure bikes, and in that group, you have a little bit of everything, and it's like, where are you going? So you got to be careful about asking questions to figure out. You got to be careful with where you ask your questions. I think. So, anyways, what do I know?
Well, I mean, you definitely have to keep your guard up with the internet. I mean, as we've learned from it, as we know, people can always they're always out to troll.
Yeah. Okay. So Mark Daniels is good to see you, Mark. What's the tequila tonight? I don't know if I have any. I might have some hooch in the counter in the back, but we may drive a little more, so we'll keep. And Matt's too chicken to drive the rig.
I was too chicken to drive the
rig.
Yeah.
Logan, like literally, I just got out while we were moving and put him in. We put it on autopilot, and he just drove right. He basically.
And I thought that's what we were gonna do.
Logan was autopilot, and but I asked you. I kind of said, "Do you want to drive?" And I see apprehension.
Come in,
and it's like Logan's like, "Yeah, I'll drive."
Yeah.
Which, you remember when we drove with him the first time when we drove with him with the trailer? How slow he drove?
Yeah.
I had to tell him, like, floor it, kid.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's your rig. It's big, and I've never touched anything as nearly as big as this. So yeah, I was a little nervous.
Yeah. So Aaron was riding up in a plane. Said it's already dusty up there. Yeah, I would suspect so. It's funny. We're driving up all of the rivers, anything that flows underneath the different roads. There's tons of water, but outside of that, it's like the Mother Nature sucked it right back up. It took it right back down. And Dave says his Husaberg was kickstart only, lighter and faster than those other ones. Yeah, but he thinks like Ken Roxon, he would have liked to have a magic button.
Yeah.
And Road Race 3R says, hey guys, I've been loving the 10RA 700 updates. Just brought one a month ago and have been slowly modifying mine for gnarly off-road terrain. It's a beautiful bike. I tend to agree 100%. So I got my W wheels on, and the thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about those is they're slightly narrower. My front rim is slightly narrow, and I believe both front and rear are a little bit more narrow, and that allows me to run the smaller tires that I wanted to run. Gives me the ability to run like real knobbies if I wanted to, which I usually never do. But they're narrow. It's the 185 front rim, and I don't know what the rear is. It's a 3 point. I think it's a 3. I forget the numbers, but I will measure it at some point and get that information to you. But yeah, got those mounted up. That bike looks good. Those wheels were W. That's DUBYA. And if you're calling them and asking about adventure wheels specifically, actually every bike in the back right now has W wheels on it, or at least, no, maybe I have a Husaberg with me. I don't think the Husaberg has W wheels on it, but all the other ones do, and pretty good. So Don Julio Reposado for Mark Daniels tonight, and let's see, did you bring the half of the JLF food division with you on this trip? Yes, we did. Janie is. So I brought my bartender.
That's half of a meal.
Yeah, I brought my bartender up to the Tour Tech rally. I need someone to open my beers for me. What, are you kidding?
Yeah.
So, anyhow, yeah. If you have any motorcycle product related questions that you would like a straight answer that will probably cost you a lot less money than if you go to any place else, or you won't be copycatting the guy who's trying to get positive affirmation for his modifications. And that's what this post turned into. Everybody recommended exactly what they had. It was, dude, you got to do this, and it's like, that's probably what you have, and that's what you have, and that's what you have, and then it goes. It's funny because you get a couple people that might be serious, and then you get the jokesters in there that are like, oh, you need to start on a PW50, get an electric bike, and then it goes on this roller coaster, and like I said, I didn't read the too many of the comments, but I quickly looked at it, and that's what I saw, and it's like then I just stop, because once there's more than 3 or 4 comments, we've run the scale of information. Whether you got lucky in those first 3 or 4 and you got a decent answer, that's up to you, or that's on the form. And that's the problem I had. Like, and I brought this up. I remember being on Adventure Rider, ADV Rider, in the early days, back when the term adventure riding wasn't a thing. It was like, that's the ADV Rider almost started that. I mean, and you got really good. There was a bunch of people that were early adapters of internet forums that really understood that they were kind of experts in that arena, or at least there were experts on that forum. They invited other experts onto the forum. They invited their friends, and when you saw a question there, you were able to get it. You know, you would get a good answer, a well thought out answer. Some guys did some incredible tech breakdowns on things, and then the floodgates opened. And then when some of the people that were just lurking decided, hey, I can be an expert if I post. If I get my odometer count up on the posting counter, and if I post a whole bunch, or if I contribute. By the way, keep posting in our chat right now, and you too can get a little badge. You can get a badge in the chat that says you're a top contributor.
Yeah. Like a top fan.
Does that mean, top fan? Does that mean your comments any good? So, no, go ahead. Okay, so Mike H says, what about tire recommendations for the Tenere 700 riding the Continental Divide? Mike, I would recommend the Kenda big block tires, and I always say, Kenda supports my off-road riding school. But I choose to work with companies that I believe in their products, and the cool thing about, for me specifically, is Kenda makes really good knobbies and really good adventure bike tires. The big block is, I think, every bit as good as a TKC80, which is I would call it the standard that adventure bike tires were set by. But I believe the Kenda is a little bit better off-road, maybe not as good on-road, and it's not like one of these other, we'll call them alphabet soup tires with strange new tread patterns, and the tire lasts forever. It's a good solid tire. That's what I run on mine, and that's what I suggest you run on yours too, if you're asking me. But the TKC8 is a good tire, and there's a few good tires out there. But if you want an all-around tire, that's my go-to. And I ride my Tenere like an adventure bike. I don't do the Pol Torres at Erzberg stuff. Holy!
How many checkpoints was he from finishing?
Oh, he's a long way from finishing. He wasn't even close. Okay. Well, at least where his GoPro died. It seemed like a GoPro died, and that's when it stopped. Correct?
Yeah.
I don't know how far he got, but where the GoPro died, he still had a long way to go. And I will tell you that course is, in some ways, a lot easier than when I did it, and in some ways, it's a lot harder. There's some obstacles that they took out that I remember that were a little bit earlier on in the race that they just, I think now it's become, what checkpoint did you reach? They realize that that's more important, that they want to have their 15 to 20 finishers.
Okay. And
then it's how many checkpoints did you reach? And that's a big thing. So I think letting people, they switched it, because there was before it was like you got in 5 checkpoints and that was it. That was the race for everybody, because something would bottleneck to the point where it was impassable and this. So now, that they've taken assistance away. There was assistance, not that well, it wasn't legal, but there was guys out in the forest that were helping people get through stuff.
Oh, I didn't realize they took that away.
This is kind of a thing in extreme enduro. Any of the ones that have to be part of the world championship, you're not allowed to have outside assistance.
Oh, okay.
Does it happen? Yeah, I'm sure it still happens. But you're and the thing is, a lot of the top riders have helmet cams. They run body cams or helmet cams with them, and so and I noticed Pole's turned off a couple times. It turned on and off, and he made some pretty, I'll call them wise decisions on early, going around some banners and some things. But hey, this is what are you gonna do? Are you gonna keep going, or are you gonna that thing's plugged and there's a real easy way to get around it if so whatever. But it's like I said, I the very first time I went there, I was gonna do it on a BMW HP2. And BMW said, no, we don't want you to go and blow the bike up or break the bike. So I did it on a gas. So.
And I forgot,
Yeah.
you finished, right?
Yes, both times.
Okay.
Yeah, that one I have a good success rate at. Jeff Merlot says, can the big block on a 500 EXC setup as an adventure bike, or is the Kenda Parker DT better? And is tubeless fine with a Kenda big block? So, two-part question. I would never run the Parker DTs on a KTM 500, even as an adventure bike. I run either the Parker DT front and an equilibrium rear, or Parker on the 500, because I'm going to ride it more aggressively and I want those better tires, and I'm not going to ride it on the street. The tubeless would be fine with big blocks because the big block tire is designed as a tubeless tire. But that's just like the stock tires on the EXC or the TKC 80s, and you know how we always joke about them when we see them on there?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, man, get a better tire, and then you can take that bike so much. It's gonna just be work so much better off road when you put a real tire on it. But if you really are doing that many miles on road, then yeah, having a smoother, rounder tire will probably work out. So let's see. I wish I had a question for you about our new stock KTM 300s. This must be Brenda, but they run so amazing. I can't think of anything to ask you. Oh, and the clay pistons haven't exploded yet. A clay. Look, did I start that? I didn't start that.
I'm pretty sure you did. You just came with that, like, remember those stock KTMs?
Oh, did I just jokingly say that?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to turn some lights on in here because we're getting some different lighting artifacts in here. So, where's that coming from?
Do you need the big one?
It's probably from a mirror.
No, I think it's just
that window there.
Window.
Okay,
it's just coming in too hot.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that thing, slide that thing down. Now it's a little cozy in here, Matt. I'm not sure if we want that lighting.
Hey, I could get a.
Go ahead and open that thing up a little bit.
I can play some Careless Whisper if you want.
Some what?
Careless Whisper?
No.
George Michael? No.
No. Okay. So let's see. we did put on S3 low and back pegs, and it was a good mod. S3 low. What is S3? I'm not really sure. You're gonna have to explain it. She'll probably get back to us on that. But look, Mike 300's in the back. I've put a top end in it. It has hundreds and it's on 250 hours. So who knows? Sander sandwiches. That's what it says. If your battery died and you have a Tokyo off-road starting capacitor, but it did have it hooked up prior, will it still work after hooking it up? Or you didn't have it hooked up? Yes. Yeah. Those capacitors charge really quick. Like when you basically kick the bike over or push it and get it bumping. I never have them hooked up. They're always in my backpack, and they're always discharged. I don't run them in conjunction with the battery. And if you wanted to charge it up, you could take it. Well, if you're with a buddy, you could take it over to your buddy's bike, and you could actually charge it up there. Just don't let those leads touch. So, hello, sir. I have an FE450, and it's hard to get in free gear. Get in and free gear. And the ability of the engine to feel heavy and strong sense of vibration. What is the problem? Hope you can help. That sounds like AI. That sounds like artificial intelligence trying to ask me a question.
But
it's hard to get in free gear.
Hard to get
in and out of gear. Okay, so let's scroll up so we can drill down in this question. S3 is the brand. Okay, 5mm low and 5mm back for Brenda. Yes, I can see going back and lower on KTM 300 foot pegs for certain kinds of riding. I don't necessarily know if that's what I would want, but good on you. Okay, so FE 450. So that's the Husky one. It's hard to get in in and out of first gear, and the ability of the engine to feel heavy and strong sense of vibration. What is the problem? Hope you can help. It sounds like maybe there's no oil in the motor and now the crank's trying to jump out of it. Those bikes should not have vibration, so there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in and out of gear should go right in and out of gear unless you smoke the clutch or the clutch is dragging, and that would indicate that something went wrong. You know, you overdid something. So I don't know. Let's see. Aaron says, not if you don't have the full 9 volts to fill the capacitor. But Aaron, if you take the battery off and attach the capacitor and then get the motor to spin, it will generate the 12 volts, 13 whatever. It'll do that. I've never had a problem when we've had a dead battery just hooking that thing up, and we've done it on a bike that didn't have a Kickstarter, and we just pushed it and it bump started and it was good. It would not bump start with the battery. We took the battery out because the battery something was wrong with it. Put that in there, it bump started and it was fine. It would not restart. You couldn't, the capacitor didn't have the power to restart it, but it started up and ran. So yeah, if you have a Kickstarter, you just kick it 3 or 4 times and then it'll kickstart. So okay, when are you coming northeast for ride and training? I don't know. Probably not anytime soon unless there's some big event that's gonna attract me back there. I've got a pretty full summer as it is. So, and Sanders says thanks. Sanders Sandwiches. It almost sounds like Victor, a name Victor would make. I can have some sandwiches. I'm having a sandwich right now. Let's see. Jeff Miller, thanks Jimmy. Following question. So if putting Parker DT front and rear on the 500 EXC, is it fine to run the new Tech tubeless front and rear with the Parker DT? Yes. So I am not a huge tubeless fan. I have them on a lot of bikes. It's a good way to run low pressure, and then it's a good way to have the ability to adjust low pressure, like as opposed to just going to a soft mousse. And they've gotten a lot better. The problem is the very first times I used the tubeless, I had some failures, and so all of a sudden it had a ding, and that was tubeless 1.0, and they're on 2.0 or 3.0 now. They've had some changes to them. They've gotten better. I have them on a lot of our bikes. I've bought a lot of bikes. I buy bikes a lot of times from friends that modify their bikes the same way over and over again, and then they sell me their bike, and then I have to bob it. We have to unbob the bike.
I've had to unbob a bike before.
And bob like the tubeless, and so that's why I have like 6 wheel sets right now 3. I still have a few of them. But yeah, you can run the tubeless easily with the Parker DTs. I think they're just as robust as the big blocks as far as for holding air. Oh, and Victor Andre says free gear and neutral. Sorry, sir, my language is bad. Hey, no problem. And Victor translated for you, our resident bad language guy. And by bad language, I need mall language. So, is a Facebook user? Did we get the gist of what was going wrong? Is it the bike not going into gear properly, and so maybe a little better explanation of exactly the problem, and then what he'll tell me is like, slow down, you talk too fast, because this is always the case.
Aaron said we missed a question.
We missed a question. Aaron's question. Preferences.
I thought we already discussed that one.
DOT. No, we didn't do this one. Preferences on a DOT tire combo for an FE501. Running motos, rallies now, and the carcass seems to be too stiff for dual sport. You are correct. Told the MT21 and D606 is a good combo. Yes, Aaron. boy, if you're on motos, the only reason that I ever see people run motos is they want their tires to last forever. Nobody says I bought a motos tire because I wanted the best traction. Those people are buying Dunlops and Michelins and Pirellis and like names you're a little more familiar with. So you can go ahead and scroll up. So the MT21 is a Pirelli, and the D606 is a Dunlop. Those two tire companies probably longest wearing old school tires. So, and I don't know which you're talking about, which one front and which one rear. I will just tell you that the 606, the Dunlop 606 front and rear, is a little lighter sidewall and carcass than the Motos, so the bump compliance will be a little bit better. The traction is probably going to be pretty similar. The durability is going to be about the same, maybe a little bit better traction in the rear. The front D606 needs a very heavy motorcycle. The set of Pirelli MT21s, in my opinion, is a step up from both of those. A little bit better traction. Maybe, I'm going to say it's almost the same in durability, but pretty close. And those are for long wearing tires. I think they're better than the Motos because both of those other tires will get better traction. I would go with the Pirellis. I would stick with a brand, because when you go between Dunlop and, like I said, I don't know which you're going, front or rear. I kind of envision MT21 front, D606 rear when I said that. But anyhow, and tires are a personal preference. And I've had guys that ride my bike and they ride on my Kendas and they say these things are horrible, and I've had other guys hop on them and said these tires are like magic. And so it kind of depends on the angle you turn out, how much you're picky about, like how much they spin. I don't really like to spin my bike on purpose that much. I don't ride in a constant state of spinning, but I'm very particular about how it brakes. Hence the Kenda Parkers work really well for me, and I'm getting over 1,000 miles on a set. So okay, he says MT21 front, 606 rear. Yeah, that's a viable combo. I would just go the MT21 front and rear, in all honesty. MT21. I'm thinking because there's also the MT18, which is a much more aggressive Pirelli tire back in the day. But that's a long lasting, that setup right there would probably go, for me, if I put them on, it'd go 2 times the distance of what the Kendas that I currently use. So
Facebook
Sandwiches says
Facebook user got back to us with your follow-up question,
okay,
saying the clutch dragging
okay. So yeah, we kind of diagnosed this.
Yeah.
So something happened to the clutch, and when I kind of hear like not shifting in and out of gear very easily, most of the time it's clutch plates warping, and it's not the fibers, it's the metals that have warped, or the clutch is so worn that they've actually caused grooves. You've gotten grooves in the basket, and nothing will fix that. I mean, in the old days, we used to file the basket so that it was smooth, so there weren't the we'll call them ripples in there. I'm gonna try to pull this thing down so I don't have a super hot spot there. Still, okay. Now I have polka dots on my shirt. Wait, this side right here. Polka dots. So the grooves on the basket, sometimes you could file the ones on the outer basket down. The inner basket, it's really difficult. And the KTMs, they use those pins, so they don't get grooves like that anymore. But if the metals get super hot, and all you have to do is take it apart, so easy to get in there. I'll tell you how to do it real quick. Lay the bike on its side, or on a stand or something like that, so it lays over sideways. That way all the oil goes down. Take something and press on the rear brake caliper, and it squeezes all the fluid out of it. Then push the brake pedal down out of the way and put something to block it. Take the spring off and put something to block it. A lot of times I actually loosen up all the bolts, and then I push it down out of the way to loosen the last bolt, and then push it out of the way and put something to block it, then take the cover off. Then you're 5 or 6, I can't remember, 5 or 6 bolts away, pop that sucker apart, and look at the steel plates, and see if at that point, this guy wants rally training. Yeah, I'll call you later because that's job. That's what I asked him, told him last time. I tried calling back. So look at the plates. If the metal plates are like blue or black, you're screwed. and then inspect the grooves and the clutches. Just replace it. Replace all that stuff, and hopefully that problem goes away. If for some reason the bike was ever run low on oil, and the way to tell is to look at your oil filter, pull the oil filter out, slice it, pull the accordion out, look in there and see if there's some metal shavings inside of there. You know, your magnetic drain plug will, you know, give you an indication of that engine's health. That could lead to bigger and worse problems. So hopefully that stuff goes away. So sandwiches has a question again.
So without using panniers, how or where do you stash tools / backup gear on the bike?
So I run. It kind of depends on. As I've gotten more experience, which means older. I carry less and less stuff with me because I know how. I mean, I used to carry a lot of stuff on my backpack. The reason being was I just never knew it was going to happen. I always say I could split cases out on the trail if I needed to, and we've gotten pretty close. But I've kind of minimized it down to less and less because I just thought about like all the times that I didn't use it versus the times I needed stuff. So I've got a really kind of a small kit. So I kind of quit carrying a lot of the chain braking stuff because I haven't had chain failures forever. Quit carrying tire irons because I'm running mooses. So I've learned what problems have sort of disappeared. I carry fuel hose now because you never know when you're going to have to cut and mend fuel hose or eliminate a something or a fuel filter or who knows what, different things like this. But where do I carry it? I try not to carry it on my back, but I do have a backpack that has a couple. They're these little pouches of tools. Search on dirtbiketest.com. I talk about some of the different tools I've used. I think a while back, and you could probably search this, it's like we did a whole series of what people have in their backpacks. And we looked at a lot of different people's backpacks, and they sent us videos of what they had. And of course I did a video on mine as well, so you can see what I was carrying. And I've many times on different videos I've just said, here's what's in my backpack. So there's information on that. So I carry stuff on my backpack, try not to. But then on the bike itself, there's really nothing unless I run one of those kind of like cloth saddlebag-ish kind of things that I do run on a few of my bikes when I know that I'm going to go longer distances and I'm going to need something. So yeah, and then I've seen guys that are just, and I'm riding so many different bikes that I have to carry. I gotta have a lot of different things, and I don't want to move things from bike to bike. But I've seen guys on one bikes that have tools stuck in their handlebars. They have tools hidden behind their number plates. Tools in their airbox. A lot of my bikes, I used to carry a shift lever, a brake, and a clutch lever inside of my airbox. KTM actually made this little plate that bolted right in there that had all that stuff. So there's all kinds of different ways to stash stuff on a single bike. I'm moving around too much, so my stuff has to be pretty mobile and portable. So that's why I don't do that. But you can get really creative. I used to carry a small, like, when I would break my chain, when I put my new chain on, I'd always leave 3 links, and they would get wired onto the top part of
the subframe, right?
The chain guide that protects the cases. So it's just sitting there, and it looks like just 3 links of chain. They would just drill 2 holes and then wire tie it on there, and it just sits on there. Or I'd wire it into the skid plate, and like skid plates have a lot of room underneath them. So, especially out west where we're not packing those things with mud. But even if you are, you could literally take a piece of foam and then set some tools into that foam and put it up in the skid plate, and then you drop the skid plate down. And on some bikes, it's just one Zeus fastener. Skid plate drops down, and you've got tire iron sitting there. Seen it all. So there's lots of good places to put it on a bike if it's perfect. And Brenda there says fanny packs. Yeah, that's a bad word in Australia, Brenda. And we have some people that are in the future that watch this show, those Australians. So be careful with where you throw that fanny pack around. So, and Matt, if you are going to hunt some lot lizards, toothless ones are better.
I think I figured out what lot lizards are now.
Now you know what lot lizards are.
I think I figured this out.
You learn something every time in this show.
Yeah.
If it's about motorcycles or life, we try to help you out there. So Brenda, bum bag. Yeah, she's referring to the bum bag. And I was a fanny pack wearer for a long time, or a bum bagger. And there's actually pictures of me racing like longer, like the Takati Enduro, for instance, where I actually had two fanny packs on, one back and one forward.
Really?
Which I don't know what I was thinking, like wearing that thing forward. But I'm pretty sure I had to carry gas, and I needed an extra bit of gas, and I probably had some other stuff in there. But yeah, you do what you got to do. So tool tube, made it with a 3-inch ABS pipe and works great. Where do you put your tool tube, Victor? So I'm not a big fan. Like, I don't recommend wearing two fanny packs, and especially one in the front. What are we doing? Checking sound?
No. I'm getting some stuff set up for Rooster Endo.
Oh, it's on that. It's on that drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
I don't know if we should have put anything on that drive.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a really small folder.
Okay. So so back to the where to put it, like, there's fender bags. I've seen guys use fender bags. I just don't like them because I bump into them when I'm kind of getting back. There is I'm trying to think. There's tank bags. Hate those. That's almost as bad as wearing your fanny pack backwards. Front fender bags. I used to always have a tube on my front fender because I was switching bikes all the time. So a lot of times I had a nice fender bag. A lot of companies made these things. They just clipped onto the front fender. It would have tire irons, a CO2, and a front tube in it, and that could just go bike to bike to bike. So, a gum job. We got a gum job, or is that a good job?
That's I think that's a
lot lizard. That's referring to the
teeth.
lot lizard thing.
Yeah, with no teeth.
Do we think that's Victor? His sandwiches. And Brenda, have you ever had to repack the muffler on your 300 TPI? I have not. So the good portion of the beginning life of my TPI bike, I got it. Actually, it was George's was the one I did all the muffler testing on. We were constantly switching mufflers, trying different things, so they never had a chance to really get all that gummed up if they would. But those things run pretty damn clean. And mine are all stock. I haven't reflashed or remapped or done anything different to the ECUs to make them put more oil in. Nor do I feel like for the riding that I'm doing, do I need to do this. And I've raced it. Finished top 3 in a District 37 Sprint Enduro, so it works okay. It gets wrung out every once in a while. It's pretty amazing. Like, even on guys that really run super gummed up ones, the packing doesn't really get that bad. The perf core inside tends to plug up more than that. But I think if you get on the gas, open it up, and let her eat a little bit. Didn't Jim's muffler get gummed up? I don't believe Jim's muffler got gummed up. And he lugs his bike quite a bit, but I don't remember his muffler being bad. So, yeah. Man, we're getting lots of good questions tonight.
Let's see. Mike H. Any advice on carrying extra fuel or experience with giant loop, not a gas bag?
Yes, I use those. I've used them a lot. The worst thing about those things is they disappear. I have no idea where my not a fuel bags go, because I had to write my name on them because they're not a yours. And I think I just loan them out, like, oh yeah, here, take this and borrow this and whatever, and they don't come back, or I hide them from myself. So yeah, I had good experiences with those. We used to, like, when we were doing stages where, like, it was kind of going to be sketchy on fuel, we knew we were at the end, we'd always take it. And the trick is you fill it up, you clip it to your backpack. The minute you ride your first 10 or 15 miles, you dump it in. Just get it out of there, because you really don't want to be carrying it around for long distances, but just get it in. And Mark Daniels just shared a link.
Motion Pro multi-tool.
Yep. No, Mark, please don't share the ones on that one. You can always, if you want to support Dirt Bike Test and help pay for my incredibly expensive time here on this show. I had to take a nap before this show. That's how stressed out I was about coming on and everything.
Yeah.
If you want to make me feel better, go through Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Click through the link on dirtbiketest.com. We have a link there. We get a little cut of that. It does help us out. It helps us pay for this bandwidth. But if you go to the other place, unless Mark has his own personal deal with that other company, then we would not recommend it. I mean, they probably sell this stuff, and they're probably a good company as well, but Mark says he deleted the link. Right now, Mark, here's what you need to do. Go to dirtbiketest.com, click around, go up there, it says support us. Click on that link, just open it up, open the one up for Rocky Mountain ATV MC, click that thing, and then we actually get a little cookie, and that lasts for, I think, 14 days.
Yeah.
So if you need something, if you're shopping around, if you're buying some stuff for your bikes, and I know, like, Brenda actually said that when they did theirs, they did some stuff, and we see that. I mean, it does make a difference when guys are doing full rebuilds of their bike. Man, you're putting a top end or something like that. Just put in the name of the tool. Yeah, when you click on the link, you just go. Once you get to Rocky Mountain, just treat it like normal. Search what you're looking for. He's gonna get the link up in the chat for us. What a hero! That's so cool. We're remote, so yes, it is trailer time with Jimmy. This is motorhome time though. They're actually in a giant motorhome parked at a lot lizard feeding grounds. I'm pretty sure they're it's the sun's starting to go down, and they're just gonna start scratching on the doors, right, Matt?
Yeah.
There's a little cafe over there. I might go hit the little cafe.
Well, they see the lighting in here, so they know this is probably...
Oh, the mood lighting we got.
Yeah.
This is good. So yeah, if anybody out there is going up to the Tour Tech Rally, come by and say hi. We're going to be teaching schools the whole time. We're kind of out in the training school area. So come over and say hi. Say you heard about it. You can ask your question in private there if you're worried about that. Battery saver is on. Consider plugging in your device. Wow, we killed the battery. Yeah, I better consider plugging in my bike.
Yeah.
Matt, hold the show for a little while.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and actually list off the rest of our sponsors.
Right, we didn't get through them.
We didn't get through all of them. No, we had too many good questions. So let's see. We got to thank Yamaha, Scott Sports, DDC Sprockets. I'm pretty sure all the bikes have DDC? All the bikes in this motorhome?
Except for the Tenere, because he doesn't make one for the Tenere just yet.
Okay. Scott Sports. We also got to thank Moto. They'll be bringing you Moto's Rooster Endo segment later today. Trail Tech. We're going to be using those Voyagers.
Yeah, we'll be using Voyager Pros with buddy tracking so Matt doesn't get lost.
Yep. Because I'll be the one that gets lost. And
then, well, no, that way you can see what you can do is you can ride out of the dust. Here's a really cool thing about the Voyager Pro is that you can turn on the thing. You have buddy tracking and you can turn on buddy tails. It's called, and so the person in front of you essentially leaves a track log wherever they go. So if you have no track log on your screen and I'm in front of you, I'm riding, it'll leave a pretty accurate track log of where I went. if the radio signal breaks for a while, it might skip from one point to another, but you'll see it, and it is a radio signal. So if you go over hills and stuff, and you get pretty far distance apart, but man, Logan and I used it last year when we rode back, and other than one time, Logan only blew one turn, and when I finally caught him, he got about 10 miles away. That's how, because it was fast roads, and I figured it was open terrain, and I figured he'd see me. Well, he said he looked down, and I do trust him, and he probably looked down, but he probably looked down right before it had updated.
Yeah.
And then he went right past a road, and kept going. But like when we got there, I'm like, "Did you look?" And he's like, "Yeah, I looked down, and there was nothing there." Well, because he wasn't looking behind him, he'd already gotten so far behind. I was coming behind him, he didn't see. But as soon as I got there, then he looks down, and he goes, "Oh," and it was all there, kind of deal. But that is one of the big features of the Voyager Pro for GPS units. There we go, Mark. Got that link up.
Perfect.
What a dude. I should send you a T-shirt on time. So, okay. What other sponsors do we have?
Let's see, I'm trying to go off the top of my head here. We also have
Double Take Mirrors.
I was gonna say Double Take Mirrors.
Fasst Company, Flex handlebars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Flex handlebars. I put them on the list so I don't have to.
So you don't have to remember them.
Yeah.
There is Bulletproof Designs.
Yeah.
Bulletproof Designs. Usually we do the Bulletproof Designs product of the week. We have to see if we're going to be able to do that. I don't know if I have a product of the week that's handy inside of here. Oh, I might have something. Who knows? And
Seat Concepts.
Seat Concepts. Every bike in the back, for sure, has a Seat Concept seat on it.
Yeah.
Except for the Yamaha.
Right.
Because it's a brand new test bike, and we test them completely box stock. Yeah. So that's not on.
And Climb.
Seat Concept. Oh yeah, Climb. I'll be wearing Climb gear all weekend. Matt won't.
Well. Yeah, I will.
You will. No, you're going to get some new gear to test. But yeah,
I thought I was riding out on the ride back though.
Ride back, yeah. So we have all that. Okay. I wonder if the light is gonna. We get a little bit of light, a little more ambient light here. Oh boy. Yeah. The lighting didn't work out. I have a portable studio that I should bring and fix inside of here. We can do it like Steve-O. You ever seen Steve-O's podcast? They drive around in a van.
Really?
Yeah, he drives around in a van and does podcasts and stuff. I mean, he's a professional. He might have made some money in his career. So, let's see. Dave Donnelly meant to say which would be better for LA B to V. I think we missed his question up there a little bit. I'm gonna go back up and scroll and see what I see. Like the test the off-road 450s, I'm thinking of a KX 450X or the KX 250X for a dual sport conversion. They're on sale. Which would be better for LA B to V? Oh, 100% the 450.
Yeah.
Just because the 250 you're going to be ringing its nuts, and neither of those bikes would be great for that because of the transmission. You're dealing with a close ratio transmission. It's a motocross gearbox. Sure, you can gear it up, but your first gear is going to be pretty tall. I don't think there's anything that's that technical on LA B to V where you would really be taxed in first gear, but you're gonna have to gear it up quite a bit to do the things. Oh, and Mike Parsons says the Climb Arsenal vest works great and has a nice tool pack. So when I switched away from backpacks, I went to the Climb Arsenal vest. I was using those forever just because it spread the weight out on me a lot better. And then I just wanted to get the weight off completely, and that's when I went away from wearing, I went back to the knack pack, which was super light, and then put the heavier stuff that was in the Arsenal onto the bike. So yeah, Mike, thanks for bringing that up. I probably hit my head and forgot which one is there. So let's see. And then Mike says, has Trail Tech got any new updates? I just installed the new one. Compliments of Takamoto with the Extreme Alumidock and the aluminum case. So they haven't updated the software from what I'm aware of for a while now, and I haven't been having. There was a bad batch of software. So there's two things. Trail Tech does sponsor the show. So, but I'll tell you, there's two things that can be issues, and the docks, the plastic docks specifically. the charging, the way that those pins on the back of the unit doesn't have a problem. It's the dock that has the problem. And the aluminum docks are much better than the early plastic docks. They have updated all of those things. But I'll tell you, if you do not want to leave that thing charging on your bike, because it has the Voyager Pro has a big power drain. Always turn it off when you're not riding, and if it goes dead, be very careful about charging it on the bike through the dock. It just seems like it can just take such a draw.
Uh-huh.
And especially with the bike, if your battery starts going low and the amperage gets low, just make sure you're doing it on a good battery. So the docks are kind of like a known issue, but if you keep them charged and you don't let them drain down, you're not going to have any problems. The second thing is there was one batch of software, and I think it was like 2 updates ago, that wasn't that good. It was a little glitchy, and I don't know how or why, but I remember I had one unit that had that, and it was always kind of problematic, and then I fixed it and it was gone. So mine are all working good, and mine have thousands and thousands of miles on them, and the units are robust and work really good. So Mark says the lighting is okay. Oh, thank you. It's nice. We should have, you just hang some light. We have speakers. You hang speakers and lights and the whole 9 yards. Let's see. Yeah, and Victor says, on the B2V there's a place you have to go in 70 miles an hour, and some other areas. So he knows, he's done it a few times. Yeah, the plastic dock, the pins vibrating messes things up. It's not actually the pins vibrating. It's the pins are spring loaded, and you can feel it when you push on them. And if the contact gets bad between the unit and the pin, and or the heat from those things, charging a lot, can actually make the springs kind of fatigue, and then it's not putting enough pressure, and then it makes a bad contact. So it has a lot to do with that. Janie Miller Hughes sit was pizza tonight. Yeah, he almost got it. The bartender, my bartender that we're bringing to a Tour Tech rally. Let's see, Jimmy. So this will take this, and then do we have commercial break loaded up?
We do not.
We do not have a commercial break loaded up.
No.
Then you're just gonna sing all the commercial jingles while I grab another beer?
Well, I can just make some motorcycle sounds with my mouth and say Yamaha.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna grab this one question, and so what? It's a video, but it's on the other computer.
It's on a drive that I thought I had packed.
Okay, that's how we were gonna do this.
And so it was packed into my backpack that I was gonna transfer everything over, and I transferred everything over except that drive and some headphones.
Okay, so we're no commercials.
Nope.
Do you have? Why don't you call up a document that has the list of all the sponsors on it so you can read it off properly?
Yeah, I could do that.
You could do that, and
that's what. Yeah.
And then so Chase. Gina alone. Chase Gina alone. Jimmy, old guy here who is relocating to Cabo East Cape, Mexico. Okay, Chase. What's your question? I got that part. I think we've answered all the other ones up until that. I think we're all good. So we're going to take a quick break while Matt sings and reads the commercial sponsors messages.
Well, I'm not singing, but
okay.
I'll read some stuff.
And then we'll get into our Rooster Endo. I'm going to see if I can find a oh man, do I have a product of the week? I should have some. It's usually I just throw last minute stuff in here.
Yeah. And
I didn't.
What
I mean, everything was last minute.
Your new speaker.
No, I'm not happy with that. Trying to listen to podcast. I need to put a new stereo inside of this van. This van could use some updates. It's like I do have a product that I can talk about. Something I've been using for a while. So I will do that, and it's your turn. Go.
Yeah. All right. So Yeah, episode 193 would not be possible without Yamaha. We're going to be riding some Yamahas during Tour Tech. Looking forward to it. They make some great bikes. They rev your heart, whatever the tagline is. I still don't have new
Yamahas rev your heart?
Or is it? Yeah, I thought it was Yamaha. Kawasaki's let the good times roll.
Okay.
Then we got Moto bringing you Moto's Rooster Endo. Their ride day was a big hit. Definitely go there for any of your EXE or FE needs. Scott Sports. We have our climb gear, DDC sprockets, Trail Tech, which we'll be using, Fasst Company flex handlebars, seat concept seat, bulletproof designs, the double take mirrors. Also, don't forget to click on the Amazon and Rocky Mountain links on Dirt Bike Test in the Support DBT tab. Also, don't forget to go to jimmylewisoffroad.com, sign up for the newsletter, stay up to date on class dates and when to sign up for those.
And if you know somebody who is a new rider that wants to get into riding, that probably could learn to ride the right way, we have a beginner online riding school. It costs $49. It's cheap. If you know this person well, it'll save your relationship with them. Trust me. I wish I would have known this.
Or if you have a large family.
Yeah, large family, you can buy it and have the kids. Actually, my buddy Chris had his kids. He had his young kids. First of all, they had to earn allowance to buy the class.
Yeah.
They bought the class and they took the class, and now they rip around on their little mini bikes, and super stoked with that. Hey, big shout out to my buddies at Fine Line. Inside Line Moto.
Yeah.
Fine Line used to do my suspension back in Huntington Beach. Inside Line Moto. They are in, they're in Anaheim, I think. I don't know what, Santa Ana, Anaheim, that area. They're right across the street from where old Dirt Rider offices used to be down there by Angel Stadium. Big shout out to those guys. We did a show from there not too long ago. And Tim, I think you're a better co-host than Matt. Just saying that. I wouldn't say that in front of Matt, except he's right here.
Yeah.
So
my feelings are really hurt by it too.
It's okay because Tim is a really, really good mechanic, and so is his. He has a Matt also in the shop.
Yeah.
Matt's a little bit quiet, but Matt came on and gave some really sage advice.
They were both really good on the show.
Yeah, we picked apart his bike, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was because he'd had some issues with it. That he just had this issue that and I'm like, as a mechanic, what did you do? Not that he had a hard time figuring out. Do we totally diagnose what it was?
I don't know if you
because there was some wire cutting that went on, and he got it running, got it back out of there, and it was running in the shop just fine. But I don't know if we ever got that. That'd be real interesting to follow up on that because it was just kind of a fluke issue. I think it was gonna involve replacing the expensive side of the wiring harness. But it was interesting to talk to somebody else that's way more of a mechanic than I am, and just his process on what went wrong and the steps he took. He went basically hot wired his fuel pump and tried to get it to start and did a couple other things. And he knew why it wouldn't start when it wouldn't start. There was no way to rectify it out in the trail, and they had to tow it out. But that was super cool to do that. And there's a couple other people I definitely have in line to get on this show. People have lots of knowledge, good stories. Tim, I think, I don't know, Logan was he good or bad? I can't even remember last week. Did you watch the show?
I didn't watch the show.
You just uploaded it.
I edited the audio. I've watched.
You should have critiqued him. And then we could have a co-host shootout. Because that's what we do. That's what we do. It's bad to say shootout.
Yeah.
It's really bad to say shootout because people think it's a shootout. But yeah, we'll just do it. We'll do a co-host / producer / comparison. The people have the unfortunate experience of having to sit next to me and put up with this crap, and then all I do is belittle them. Yeah. It's not that I don't know what I'm doing. It's just that it's not very nice, evidently.
It adds character.
So
I speak from experience.
But I think, like, my whole life people told me I couldn't do things. And then they give me shit when I tried and I kind of failed. And so I try to prove them wrong. I would always like, oh yeah? Well, watch this.
Yeah. Hey, that's why I became a physics major.
It's a good thing you didn't become a tire changer. Matt Matt checked the tire pressure on the motorhome yesterday. It was painful to watch.
It was painful because I know how to check tire pressure.
On a semi-truck?
I've never done a semi-truck before.
This is obvious.
Yeah.
It was painful.
And
5-minute job, bro.
I know, and
Yeah.
it was really good until the one that had something that I wasn't aware of was a possibility.
Right. That's experience. You learn.
Yeah. Granted, I should have came to you a lot sooner.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what was taking so long over there, but
Yeah,
that's okay.
'cause I thought it was the angle because it wasn't seeming to be lining up perfectly.
Right. Okay, Victor's going to do the Big Bear run this weekend. Good luck, Victor. Hopefully you're taking a bike that runs. Mr. Sandwiches says, dirt bike version of pizza versus French fry, or are you going to have a bad time?
I love the South Park reference.
Is that a South Park reference?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch enough TV to know this.
That's a South Park reference.
Pizza versus French fry?
Yeah, so, in skiing, they teach you, okay, French fry to go forward,
Oh,
pizza
right.
to stop.
Right.
Yeah. So
I know
you
this.
teach that to kids. What's the version of that for dirt bikes?
Why is that South Park? They went skiing on South Park?
Yeah. They
Okay.
had a whole. It was a really funny episode, actually.
Oh, I'd have to see it. It's kind of funny because I still joke when I'm out skiing with my friends. I go pizza all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go pizzas. Yeah. No Mas Cerveza Jimbo. Sorry, bro. I got to refill. Matt might be driving. Let's see if you can get out of this parking lot without running over the lot lizards. Let's see. So, God, the dirt bike, that's a great question. Dirt bike version of pizza versus French fry. Are you going to have a bad time? It's
Slowly apply the front brake. Don't stab it.
well, okay, because it's start and go. It's like this way. You're doing the pizza. You're gonna go slow,
Yeah.
and then French fry you go fast. Okay, so what could you? I bet you it's more like whiskey throttle. It's like
Yeah.
I think it's. We're gonna have to think of this for the school.
That's a good one.
I mean, but the problem is a lot of people don't multi-sport.
I would say maybe. I don't know. I use like snowboarding a few times as a reference. I would say like whiskey throttle is a good example. Yeah, like little like gradual versus blips. The thing that a lot of beginners get amazed by when they hop on a motorcycle for the first time is just how small those throttle movements need to be to get the bike to do what they want it to do.
Right, you don't have to go quarter throttle just to take off.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna tell you, like me and Matt are gonna have pizza versus French fry driving this truck.
Yeah.
Did you notice when I take off, I do not touch the fuel pedal at all?
Yeah. That I was a little confused by that.
This thing has so much torque.
Uh-huh.
It's just you get it rolling. You don't gas it and clutch it at the same time. You let the clutch out, the clutch is out, and then it's all throttle.
Yeah.
And that's the way I ride a motorcycle. Like I get the clutch out and then it's 100% throttle. I do not use the clutch anymore. So when I always say, you can amplify the power with the clutch, but you don't reduce the power with the clutch, and that's what I see. Most beginners are trying to feather the clutch in, but what they're really doing is they're reducing it, and then it's like, oh, it's going, and then they go, okay, it must be good, and they let go, then they amplify it, and then it's like, see ya.
Yeah. No, I've had that happen once to me.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to think about that. That's a very good question, Mr. Sandwiches.
They're saying maybe stand more than sitting.
Stand more than no.
Depends on how you're standing. But
Yeah, exactly. Most people don't actually stand up on their motorcycle. And how do you know? This is an episode for Better Rider podcast. How do you know?
Yeah.
Well, we've probably already done it. You take your hands off the handlebars, and if you fall off, this is it. It's if you can't take your hands off the handlebars, you're gonna have a bad time.
There you go. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because that tells you whether you're in balance, and most people can do it sitting down. If they try to stand up, yeah, it's a full. If you fall off your motorcycle because you're so out of balance on the motorcycle, that far out of balance that you can't let go of the handlebars, then you are endo when you should have roosted, says Pat Keller. So endo, yeah. And the problem is when you think about it, if you're using that much muscles to hang on to the motorcycle, then you don't have any throttle control. You're not going to have the dexterity on the clutch and the brakes. But yeah, standing more than sitting, not so much. Until you actually really know how to stand up on the motorcycle, don't worry about doing things standing up. Worry about learning how to stand up. We always say, walk before you learn how to run. Crawl before you learn how to walk. All these. And there's stepping stones, everything. And what I see, especially in the motorcycle coaching realm, is people trying to teach stuff without even taking into consideration the real problem of what everybody's doing. They're not ready to be doing what they're doing. They don't even know how much they're missing out on some of the important stuff. So
elbows up.
Oh yeah, just elbows up and grip with your knees. Oh yeah, stand up, stand up, go faster. All those are great advice.
Always on the balls of your feet too.
If you want to get hurt. Yeah.
Hey,
okay, so my product of the week is this. It's a Dango Designs GoPro mount, camera mount, and I don't think you're gonna be able to see it that well.
Do you want to turn these lights on?
Go ahead, yeah. Go ahead and flip the switch on the wall there. See if we get full lighting in here. Oh yeah, it's moody, nice. So this is a it's basically a clip that holds your GoPro. It mounts on like your chin bar of your helmet. It's got a clamp. You can see it's like a Jaws, and then it basically has the mount for the GoPro. So you just you take this on and off, and so it allows the GoPro to move forward and backwards, so you can kind of angle it around. And it also has this spring-loaded deal that you can actually take it and push it in and turn it, so your GoPro can go different angles, sideways, up. You can look back at yourself. I usually have it face back at me, so I can just watch videos of me riding around looking at me.
Watching your tongue stick out?
I do that a little bit. But you can clip it on your handlebars. It's amazing where it clips, and it's shaped specifically to go on the front of the helmet. I've never had it fall off the front of my helmet and lose it. It's been pretty good. I think I paid about $40 for this thing, $39, I'm guessing.
Get what you pay for with that. That's really good.
Yeah, I'm guessing. I can't remember. I've had it for like 4 or 5 years now, and I beat the crap out of it. It's always around, so that's my product of the week. Brought to you by Bulletproof Designs. Bulletproof Designs makes really good protection stuff for your dirt bike. They make Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, KTM, Gas, Husqvarna, radiator guards, chain guide protectors, swing arm protectors. The radiator guards are like some of the. They're pretty intricate. And here's the advice I have for you on this. Buy them when your bike is new, and you go, man, that's a lot of money for those things, but they're less expensive than the second and third set of radiator guards. And after you bend your set of radiators, you're never going to get these things on, because they're really a good tight fit, and once they're on, they'll take a beating and the radiators will still stay nice and straight. Take it from someone who takes bikes where he shouldn't take bikes, and every one of my I've used a lot of different ones, and those ones seem to be the best just for fit and function, and they're often copied. I've seen some quote knockoff ones, and the best thing about the knockoff ones, they don't use good metal, so when the knockoff ones get hit, they bend like a Bulletproof Design one won't bend. So yeah, that's my Bulletproof Designs product of the week. The Dango Designs. It's just designs. Camera. Yeah, I've been using it for a long time. I should have. And hey, I just put up a video. It's over on Dirt Bike Tests on the SP Connect. Where's my phone case? Where's my phone at? You stole my phone, didn't you?
No,
it's right here. We just did a video on this phone case. It's kind of hard to see, but this SP Connect phone case. Pretty stoked on this. This is my new one. I got one for the iPhone 14. It's wireless charging, which is kind of the cool thing. Matt's been watching me just chuck it at my vent. It goes, sticks on my vent. It's 100% charged because of this. I know where it's at. I don't lose it that way. But the way it locks on, so that's a magnetic charge. The way it locks on to my bikes, check that video out. I'm sold on this thing. Really good. And they have like right now a 20% off discount. So if you're interested in this stuff, when I got the setup, I got one that I have a ram ball on one mount, and then the other one is on my Tenere, and it's a vibration mount with charging and all that stuff. It's probably all in $250 for all the stuff. But now this phone goes just there. I can always have my phone with me, and it's always charged. So go check this out. They actually want to talk to us about becoming a sponsor.
Oh, nice.
But I told them, I said, hey, wait and see if you get any activation from that code.
Yeah.
See if that code works. So if you guys are into, I should have done this as product of the week, but I did a whole video on it, and it's over on Dirt Bike Test. It's up right now. Tell a friend if you like it. Yeah, tell a friend. Then you can steal their mounts.
Yeah.
You just go and, like, especially when they have the magnetic ones, or you can charge you get all your crew to have the same stuff, then you can always charge your shit on their bikes. So, yeah, always looking to maximize the stuff there. Okay, let's go into our favorite segment, Takamoto's Roost or Endo. Matt, do you have our contestants ready and lined up?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you have the information about these bikes?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And Sandwiches says gold. I like Sandwiches. I think something tells me it's Victor. I don't know why.
Okay. So this first one is going to be from Kevin Beigler. It's a 2020 KTM 250 XC TPI FMF turbine
Is that
Core
right?
2.
King of the Hammers.
No, that looks with those dunes right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like It's out. It looks like Johnson Valley someplace.
FMF Factory Fatty, GPR V5 Pro Kit, RK Tech Head, a Cherubies 3-gallon tank, Hunt Racing gas cap, oil cap, and brake tip, 3 Bros Racing suspension revalve, a Cherubies X Factor handguards, Rad custom graphics, Ride engineered rear link, KTM rear disc guard, Nitro Moose front and rear, TM Design Works chain guide, Pro Taper Evo KTM bin bars, ARC unbreakable levers, Pro Taper Flow pink grips, KTM hard parts wing arm guards, Cycra front disc guard, Tusk EMXT 35's front and rear, P3 carbon pipe guard, a Cherubies skid plate with linkage guard, a Cherubies frame guards, Dirt Tricks rear chromatic 50-tooth sprocket, P3 sensor guard, KTM hard parts slave cylinder guard.
Okay, so I think everybody should be able to run whatever they want on their motorcycle. But when you run almost everything that's not one of the sponsors of the show, I kind of have to bring it to light.
Right. That's a big issue with this one.
You've got a lot of different stuff on there. But it's okay. I think he's proud of his bike. It looks like he's modified just about anything that he could. Easy with the noise there, Matt.
You put a
It's
lot
an
of
audio show.
Yeah. Put a lot of protection there as well.
A lot of protection. But did you teach him how to shoot that photo, Matt? Did you? So we've got a really nice photo shot at 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock. You know, the perfect time to shoot a nice photo of your bike. You could just take that. You could take that bike out of the picture, and it'd be a nice photo of just the flat desert. But all that being said, you didn't have a seat concept seat, right?
No, I think
no.
I don't think so.
I was looking for one that was in there. What year was the bike?
2020.
20. It already looks like that.
He's using it.
Yeah, he's definitely using it. I'm even worried about. It didn't look like he took time to even set it onto the stand properly. It looks like it's almost ready to fall off the stand.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Oh man. At least it's not in his garage. Let's give him that. And for that, my friend, your bike roosts. Roosts. That bike's ready to ride with all of his stuff on it. Good for you for having the balls to send something in with no sponsor of the Tech Talk Tacos Tuesday show whatsoever on there at all. I didn't know Three Brothers did suspension valving. I wonder what they did. I wonder how they made it better. And right back into the garage.
Yep. I had to follow it up.
Get it into the garage.
And it looks like a profile picture submission.
It's a super tiny picture.
Yeah, 2023 KTM 350 EXCF.
Wait, what do you think this is? Is this on Garage Weekly Chat, or is it prefab garage cabinetry and motorcycle chat.com?
I think it's on these tires. Yeah, that form.
Well, it's hard to see. It's really hard to see the bike. And his boots are airing out in the back.
He's got the stock mirror on there too.
Hot garage talk.
Yeah. Let's see. Takamoto Titty Tail. I'm sorry.
This is Utility Cab 101. That's his name on GarageTalk.com.
Takamoto fork blinkers, Motos, Tractionator tires, front and rear suspension components from Moto Labs, Enduro Engineering handguards. Next upgrades will be a Vortex ECU from Takamoto and an exhaust.
Okay, so I'm not seeing the Enduro Engineering handguards. I'm seeing the stock ones on there, and that stock mirror has to go. Look, before you do anything else, take that thing off. They almost work like boomerangs that don't come back to you. So just take that thing and chuck it like a boomerang and put a double take mirror on that thing. Just that should be your next mod. Promise you. You think those are the TKC80s up on the
probably.
After what year was this bike?
23.
23? That's brand new. That thing is brand new.
It's not looking like TKC80s.
They're not?
When I zoom in.
Oh, on your phone you can zoom in.
Yeah, I mean I can zoom in here, but
and then it just gets blurry.
Yeah, but those knobs don't look like TKC80s.
No, the not the knobs on the bike. I'm thinking the ones up on the shelf that you were so intrigued with.
Oh, those ones, yeah, probably.
It's probably the stock tires.
Yeah.
He's ready to just slide those things back on and sell it when he goes to buy a Yamaha. You know this show is sponsored by Yamaha? If you submit a Yamaha, you'll instantly win this contest. No, I'm just lying. It doesn't make any difference. Garage photo, mostly stock bike. At least it's on the stand, centered pretty good. Endo.
Yeah, for the photo. Endo. Okay.
Endo. And he doesn't have a double take mirror. At least, like, all that mirror is good for is catching on a tree branch, having the bars yanked out of your hand, and then you catch the mirror in your jugular, which you don't want to do. Trust me.
Seriously, yeah.
Hey, if you're out in the chat and you feel like commenting on any of these bikes, let us know. We are definitely heavily influenced by what we see in the chat, especially when the owners of these bikes get on to defend them or tell us we don't know what we're talking about, which is pretty likely. And if you want to submit your bike, please do. Email matt@jimmylewisoffroad.com. All you have to do is send us a picture of your bike. Try to make it a good picture. I kid you not. Like, I really like to see something that the way we used to talk about when we were in the magazine, we're putting a magazine together. Does the photo make you want to ride? Like, does it, like a bike in a garage doesn't make me want to ride. It makes me know that I have to go change the oil or clean the air filter or whatever. And if you're going to shoot it in your garage, make sure your garage looks like a complete shit show so we can pick on you and say, hey, look, he's got a snake in his garage, you know, or there's a kid, or we'll fasten it on your kid's big wheels that's way trickier than your motorcycle. Like, at least give us that. But number one, Roost. Number two, no, Mark, we're on the same page. Good deal. So, but anyways, so you can submit your bike. Just take a picture of your bike next time you're out riding. And send it in to us. You know, try to take it in the morning or the afternoon. The light helps a lot. You know, you don't have to be a photographer. I would give out my wife's email address and say, email Heather to learn about photography tips. But no, just shoot us a good photo. Tell us where your bike's at, what it's doing, and you don't have to list every single part. List the big modifications and maybe some of the stuff why you did it or why you like your bike. We like a good story, and then we will do exactly what we're doing right now. Who's on number 3?
So this was something a little different. I decided to include it because The photos were bad, but I just wanted to, I don't know, something a little different. So this
Wait
is
a minute,
actually.
what do you mean the photos are bad?
The bikes are way the hell out there.
Okay. So no, the photos aren't bad. The fact that the bikes are small in the frame, that's not great for this segment, but that's where his words get to come into describe. So right now, what we're looking at is these are obviously. Tell us what bikes they are.
So this is a 21 KTM 500 EXEF and a 21 Husqvarna FE 350.
Okay, so hold right there. So he's got a pair of bikes. I'm saying they're probably his and hers, just judging by 500 and 350. I don't know why I went there, or hims and hims, or whatever it is these days. There's a, we got to be making sure that we're all inclusive. So one is them in a very urban environment because these are dual sport bikes, shot in between some nice bridges. That gives me almost a Portland vibe, except there's no homeless people in the picture. And then the other picture is them on a bridge, also with the reason I'm describing this, if you can see it on the video right now, is we're a podcast and people listen to this. So someone says the other one, they're sitting on a wooden bridge above a running creek. These are actually well thought out, nice pictures. So the photos aren't bad. Maybe for the intended purpose of analyzing the bikes, but he's going to tell us what's on them. We'll see if we can see them. And if they're a large enough file, we could always zoom in if we needed to.
So this is a dual submission from J. Cole and Jay Sander.
Uh-oh.
I understand it's a slightly different entry than normal, and that's okay if we don't win or even get picked. But
who rides a 350?
We're going to find out. But we need you to settle this versus debate between friends with your Rooster Endo segment.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Gray is the 21 Husqvarna FE350S with Thrill Seeker seat cover, Moto Star rims, Mojo foot pegs and bling kit, FMF 4.1 titanium, Takamoto Power Commander 5, Takamoto Tail Tidy, a Cherby's Tail Titty, sorry.
Did you say?
No, Tail Tidy.
Tail Tidy.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to change it. If you read it like they spell it. That was Cooper. He's banned. He's gone. He sold that bike that we were supposed to be testing all those parts on.
Oh.
Yeah, I got it through the grapevine that bike's gone, and now how am I going to tear it apart and look at the piston at 30 hours? Okay, so keep going.
Takamoto Tail Tidy, a Cherby's VSL headlight, no mirror yet, bulletproof designs front and rear rotor guards, radiator guards along with their clutch and front brake levers, stock suspension, and Dunlop D606 tires.
Okay.
The black and teal bike is the 21 KTM 500 EXCF with a double take mirror.
Black and teal. So that KTM, I can see it in the top picture. Yeah, it is teal.
Double take mirror, Seat Concepts XLT, Warp 9 Elite rims, Fastway Air EXT, Fastway end cap, Takamoto Power Commander 5, Takamoto front fork blinkers and tidy tail with Enduro plate, Baja Squadron Pro headlight and Moto minded bracket, bulletproof designs front and rear rotor guards along with their radiator guards, complete Creft Moto suspension overhaul with revalve control, Kenda Trackmaster 2. Basic plastic protection covers from Cherby's on cases, swing arm, and skid plate on both bikes. Quick background: both guys are in their mid 30s from upstate New York. Neither of us are rich, just irresponsible with money to get bikes, looking to ride like we want. Plated bikes are a must to connect with what minimal trails we have in New York, and we are always exploring. Looking to more dirt than we can legally ride, but often find random spots we'll never be without these bikes. Shout out to Blue Crew for doing what they do to do, and they appreciate the content. Whatever you decide, do a shot of tequila for us regardless.
Okay, so I like everything about this post. By the way, I like everything about this post just because they went out of the way to shoot good photos. That's cool. They're asking us to tell them they don't give a shit whether they win or not.
Yeah.
They want to know whose bike is better.
Which I have an idea now.
I right away I'll tell you why I think certain things about the bikes. But yeah, no, good job on these guys. Sorry for thinking that the 350 was a girl's bike, but my wife rides a 350.
Yeah, I like 350s.
Actually, she rides a Husaberg 650.
Yeah,
I have pictures of her on my 650, telling my friends that she's tougher than them. So don't worry about it. I like. Okay, so their bikes are really similar because, man, they're well set up. They're good. These guys have customized them in a color pattern that's outside of my palette. Both of these, like, and I have a KTM 500 that's teal. so don't get me wrong. Those are Rebel colors, by the way, of Rebel Rally. So aside from the looks, the one thing that struck me is that the KTM has the Baja Designs Squadron, which is a much better light as far as lights go than the Acerbis. The Acerbis is a good budget light. It puts out plenty of light. I rode King of the Motos with one. Lucky there wasn't a night race, but it's a good headlight. The fact that it has the Cruft suspension on it is probably a step up from the stock suspension for most people because you can get it set up, but you never know. It's all those kind of things. I'm liking the KTM just a tad bit better, based on the parts. Seat concept seat, by the way, seat concept seat. Yep. You know that thing's comfy. And here's the thing about you people from back east, by the way, you guys are screwed because you don't have the public land that we have out west. So, number one, plan a trip to come west of the Rockies and do some exploring. I know it's a long-ass drive or something like that. Actually, you guys in New York are so rich, just hire some dude to drive your bikes out.
Yeah.
And then just fly into Vegas and go riding around. You'll be glad you did. Go ride at Moab, go ride someplace out in the desert. Do an LA B to V or something. Victor will host you. Don't worry, you'll have a great time. But yeah, I'm liking the KTM just a tad bit better. What about you, Matt?
I don't know. I really like 350s.
Right.
But I agree with you that KTM set up better.
But you're just gonna go with a 350. Hey,
you know what? I can't.
If you just rode these bikes, you just hop on one and the other, and that's the thing is, no matter what you do to them, the fact that one's a 350 and one's a 500 would probably be enough of a difference to where it doesn't matter what you did to one or the other. You'd say this bike, I like this bike better.
Yeah.
So, I used to be I was on the 350s for a long time, and then I kind of went away, and I'm sure I'll come back. It's just I like change. I like to ride different things.
Yeah.
And man, I wish Yamaha made a. And by the way, thanks for shouting out to our sponsors too in your little post. Awesome. I wish Yamaha made a 350. That would be an insane 350. And I've told them that since they spun the motor around backwards on the 250F, and it was just game changing. That bike went from it wasn't bad, but it was bad.
Uh-huh.
And they changed game changing. That motor all of a sudden is the best motor in the class. If they did that with a 350, because the 350 I think it would be so much easier to get everything that you want out of a 350. That would be crazy. So okay, a double Roost.
Yeah, double Roost for me
Roost.
too. Okay, so our last submission for the day.
Okay, drum roll please.
Is going to come from a Seth Waterfall.
Now there's a photo.
Yeah, this is a good one.
That's a really nice photo.
The public will get to see it here soon.
Yeah, Matt gets his shit together. He's sitting over there. Oh, just put it up there.
We're getting it up there.
Anticipation. I saw it already. There we
Yeah,
go.
look at that.
Beta cross trainer.
A little hot on the photo, but
yeah, I mean it's just a beautiful photo. We're going very near there.
Yeah,
we're gonna go close by there.
2023 Beta Cross Trainer, FMF spark arrestor / silencer, TM Design Works skid plate, Beta rear disc guard, bulletproof designs radiator guard, Enduro Engineering flag style hand guards, tubeless front and rear, Kenda Ibex front tire, IRC JX8 front rear tire, and it's been resprung for his weight.
So I'm gonna tell you what. Just look that list. Looking at this bike and the way that is set up, this person knows what they want in a motorcycle.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Seth.
Seth.
Oh, Seth is right there too.
Seth knows It works great for a girl's bike. Hey, it's not a girl's bike. It's like, it's so funny because Beta gave us the one to test.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't call it a girl's bike or an old man's bike or a bumper bike or and I'm like, I know exactly what it is, but it works great for all of those things, okay? So my renter, Erica, has one. She's a girl. She's not very big. She rides one. But Seth, you have a very well set up bike. The mods list doesn't go very far at all. He's got good sticky tires on it. Obviously, that's what he's looking for. He's got a spark arrestor on it to make it legal so he can ride up in the forest. Some little tweaks, handguards here and there. I think that's a great bike. This bike, absolutely, that's a nice photo. That's everything about it. It's a Roost. You're up against stiff competition though, bro.
Yeah, that's a really good Roost.
Yeah, Brenda says I shouldn't ride that, but it's pretty. Hey, Brenda, yeah, do not ride a cross trainer because I know your KTM 300 is awesome, but it's just like a different flavor of awesome when they just feel so light and nimble and I mean the suspension is not in the same kind of league and it's really not meant to be ridden the same way, but those are really good bikes. Number 4, winner chicken dinner. Was that number 4?
Yeah, that was number 4.
Okay, so I'm actually because we have the one left over from last week.
Yeah.
And we have this week.
Yeah, so we have 2.
I want to give it to those guys from New York.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do too.
Hey, and Seth, by the way, all joking aside, you should have sent in last week. He would have won hands down. It would have been no question as we were struggling. But I want to give it to those 2 dudes because they've got the bikes. They're doing little mods and stuff to their bikes. I think it was cool that they went out of their way to get us a couple cool photos of their bikes and did a lot of their stuff. And Seth did everything perfect and came in essentially 3rd place.
Yeah.
How does that work? Yeah, well, thanks everybody for submitting our Rooster Endo segment. We get a kick out of talking about this. Like I said, I used to tell my bosses at Dirt Rider when they were telling me to do stupid shit, because they're like, this sells magazines and this, I'm a magazine guy and this, that, blah, blah, blah. And you can tell how well it worked because they're no longer, they don't exist. Well, it kind of exists, but everybody that works there now say it's the best job ever because they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Because they don't print a magazine. They just put up stuff. But they used to tell me how that stuff worked, and I'm like, but I understand our customer, our reader. I know who these people are. I like to see what they're buying. I like to see where they're taking their bikes, how they're using them, and that's what Rooster Endo really does. For me, it kind of keeps me connected and see, because some of you guys do some pretty jacked up stuff. I mean, you got some stuff like, and I think it's jacked up, but you think it's the best thing ever, and then you listen to me and you think I'm jacked up. So we're on the same page. Trust me, we're exactly on exactly the same page.
The jacked up page. Yeah,
we're all jacked up. But it's good to see everybody out, getting their bikes out, getting them dirty. The garage ones, you can still shoot them because we have fun with it. But those will start. What was our big when we first started doing this? There was something that there was like a recurring beef that we picked on a while, and then it just stopped. I can't remember what it was.
Front disc rotor?
Oh, yeah. Disc rotor, yeah.
Or the front disc guard, yeah.
Yeah, the front disc guard. It doesn't seem like... Well, first of all, a lot of people had them, and I'm not a fan, but okay. And then all of a sudden, they knew they had them on their bike, but they'd shoot the bike in a way that it was kind of covered up. And now they're completely gone. We're off of front disc rotors. It's kind of like we're off of talking about how powerful Husabergs are. I kind of missed that. But if this motorhome, which I think it's 30,000 pound motorhome, if it breaks down, the reason I brought the Husaberg is so that it can tow the motorhome up to Washington. So just so you know, that's why I put the Husaberg in the back. So anyhow, I think we're gonna call it. Is there anything else we need to talk? If you're out there, Front disc guard. I don't think it's the real. Okay, so we got to talk about what a real front disc guard is. It has to be made out of thick aluminum, and you have to be able to hit it with a sledgehammer. That's a disc guard. Anything else is Farco plastic, carbon fiber, pretty shit. Not a real not a real disc guard. But any other last minute questions do we have in the out there in the internet's world? Here we go. Victor's got a question, but this is dangerous. But if you have questions, even about this show, something we didn't cover, something you want to talk about more, go ahead and put them in the chat. Even after this thing gets uploaded, we go back and look at those. We get notified when there's questions there. You can always send us an email. You can post all the different places. So Victor's question, Matt, what is it?
Question: what is your personal definition of an adventure bike? A bike with a ton of gear and panniers, where you don't need anything, or a bike with just the necessary items to survive out there, not at Starbucks? Your personal description.
So you remember when we were pulling on the freeway in Battle Mountain, Nevada, and I pointed to that bike?
Yeah.
So there was an adventure bike in the parking lot of McDonald's or something like that, and it was loaded tall and high. Yeah. And I'm like, that guy's going someplace. Maybe the same place we're going. I don't know. He'll probably end up in my class tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow, Thursday,
right?
End up in the class on Thursday. But he had a lot of stuff in there. And having done that before, loaded up too much stuff on a motorcycle, there's a point where it's like, okay, if you're going to really need that, get a trailer. I actually have a motorcycle trailer. I have a guy at Jay's Speed Shop is the guy that hooked me up with a Canadian guy that built these trailers. It's a single wheel trailer. It's got like a fiberglass pod on it, and you can put it all in there. And trust me, it's still dangerous to have that kind of weight in a trailer. I mean, it's just like towing a trailer in a truck. If it starts swapping, it gets going, and it's nutty. But at least it's not up high. It's down low. It can still steer you a little bit, but all that stuff up high. So I'm not. There's a point where you load up your adventure bike too much, and you might as well just have gotten a Goldwing. Because you're going to be able to only ride the same places. I would take a Goldwing down a dirt road, no problem. But that's all you're going to do with this adventure bike is take it down a dirt road. Are you going to get a Jeep road in that thing? Hell no. One slip, the bike slips on a rock or something like that, or it bounces and hops, and it's going to take you down. You can fight it all you want. It's not going to work. So so I'm not a big, fully loaded heavy, and so in his defense, I'm hoping that he's going to ride pavement to go someplace where he's going to set up camp, and he's going to have a pretty nice camp. I have a 16-pound adventure bike tent as well. It's that one we threw in the back right now. It has a garage in it, so if it rains, it's a big tent. I take that sometimes, but I take it and I'm pretty much riding the easiest way to get. I'm going to set up, then I'm going to take all my stuff off of my adventure bike, I'm going to put it in my tent, and then I'm going to go loop out of there. So when I truly adventure bike ride, the way that I do it is I don't carry cooking stuff. And I can go to the level of being able to cook or not cook, and I can cook pretty meager by just lighting little fires and using a small metal tray that takes you can just fry some meat or whatever on top of it. So I'm not in cooking, because cooking you can take away like 3 to 5 pounds right away, and some space, and I don't stay in hotels. I camp. But I can stay in hotels if it goes to shit. So I don't camp as if it's going to be a gnarly storm. If some gnarly storm comes in, it's like, well, guess we're going to have to surrender to this one. Go to a hotel, or camp underneath an underpass or in an abandoned building someplace, something like this. I'm going to find shelter somewhere. So I have a routine where I kind of eat big at the restaurant, and then go out and camp. And then get up in the morning, get all set up, then go eat where I'm going to get gas. And you have to get gas every day. So, gas, eat, go ride. So it's a, it's kind of a how you're going to do it kind of thing. A lot of time I use my adventure bikes to go between places where I have places to stay, whether it's friends' houses or cabins we have out, in riding areas, and maybe I have bikes there already, so I have a dirt bike there. So I buy my adventure bike to go ride my dirt bike. I screwed up because I took my skis back. I can ride my adventure bike up to Mammoth, and I leave my skis at my friend's house. Although he didn't like me leaving my skis there. He's kind of a snowboard guy, and he says it's a little bit like, you don't need two of those things. Yeah, so he has to hide them. You don't want anybody to see him there.
Right.
But that's probably why he didn't remind me to give them back to him after. So, but I use it as a just a transport motorcycle. But yeah, I'm not into the big heavy loading everything up. I just kind of do oh yeah, motorcycle. Oh, you've done the TC investigations to prove that. Oh, I know motorcycles are not designed to. I rode from the TourTech rally one year. I rode back from TourTech back to Nevada towing a trailer. It's a great place to keep a spare six-pack, Mark. So when you just want to pull over and sit on your trailer, it's a good seat. You can sit on your trailer and look at the mountains and carry lots of camping equipment. So Mr. Sandwiches says, any suggestions on public places to ride in Northeast surrounds New York, Mass? No, I don't know the area that well, and luckily I have friends back there, Sander, that they all belong to clubs. And here's what I'll tell you. There's a lot of different trail riding clubs and clubs that put on races in Nitra and on all these different in the Pine Barrens. And so there's dual sport rides, which, believe it or not, the dual sport rides are often sometimes more gnarly than the races. And then there's like a lot of hair scrambles. But if you can get hooked up with some of these clubs, because a lot of them do it on private property, and some of the clubs own property, and I know there's an area in upstate New York where a bunch of clubs got together and bought a whole bunch of property, and they use it as a riding facility. You just have to be a member. You join the club, and you have to do a work day, but then you get to go riding, and those guys all know other guys, and they all know the places to ride. And if you get hooked up with the right guys, and you're a solid guy yourself, man, some of the vetting processes of these groups, I love it. Because they don't let riffraff in. You've got to be somebody that's committed and want to do that. But yeah, join up with a club, and you don't have to kill anybody or run meth across borders or anything like that on your bike. It's not Hell's Angels or anything. It's just dirt bikers. And I know another club. If you get a sticker, all you have to do is get a sticker. It's the Good Club with a Bad Name. Yeah. Good Team with a Bad Name, GTBN. There's another club you can get in too, and that gives you a little cred in the back east there. I know this for sure. So let's see. You carry a shovel for when you eat at a big restaurant? No. No shovel. I use the heel of my boot, bro. I can kick it in at the heel of the boot. Are we a father and son? No, absolutely not. I chose not to reproduce. Let's see. Tom Gray. Hey guys, I wrote you with a TC250 plug fouling trouble a couple weeks ago. It ended up being the lighting kit that the previous owner had installed. Thanks for your help. Tom, I don't remember.
I remember the chat was helping out with this one too.
I don't remember that I picked it out, but I probably said what I famously say. What was the last thing you did to the bike? Of course, you didn't do that. But then again, it was a modification that caused the problem. It'd be interesting to know why that would cause the plug fouling. Maybe it was drawing so much off of the ignition it wasn't allowing a good strong spark. So yeah, hey, if you find a good club, let us know. Sander. Yeah. I'll give him a good shout out that it's a good club, and then get the club listening, and then I'll get. I know this guy that knows a little bit about back east. Maybe I can have Jerry come back in. So anyhow, hey, thanks a lot for joining in, supporting the show. Tell a friend. Comment. Tell us how to make this show better. We're constantly working on building it up and doing some different stuff. So we even take it on the road, as you can see right here. So with that, we will, I think that's it from
That's
the
it.
things. Yeah, guys. So with that, we'll see you out on the trail.
There we go.
Cheers.